Hello everyone. Back again with film recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the psychological thriller films from 2023, titled Red Rooms. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. Without further ado, let's get straight to the storyline. At the start of the movie, a beautiful woman named Kellyanne wakes up near a sidewalk in the bustling city of Montreal. Her fancy appearance and calm demeanor suggest that she is not homeless. As the sun begins to rise, Kellyanne makes her way towards the local courthouse. After completing the security checks, she is allowed inside one of the trial rooms, where several people like her are present. Soon, the judge announces that they are about to commence the trial of Mr. Ludovic Chevalier. He has been accused of abduction, confinement, brutally torturing and killing 3 innocent girls, and the production of obscene materials. Here, we get to know that all the people present inside the courtroom are the members of the jury. The judge then mentions that for the next 2 months, they will carry out this trial. He requests everyone to be impartial and fair, so that Mr. Chevalier's fate can be rightfully determined. The judge also reminds everyone that some of the evidence they are going to display over the course of the next few months can be extremely disturbing, due to its violent nature. So, if anyone has a weak heart, they should leave immediately. When asked how he pleads to these charges, Chevalier pleads not guilty. After this, the prosecuting attorney is allowed to speak. She gets straight to the point, and says that Kim LeBlanc, Justine Roy, and Camille Bewley were aspiring young teenagers. Aged 13 to 16, they excelled in sports, education, and various other activities. However, their life was brutally cut short by this monstrosity of a man. She reveals that Chevalier set up a red room in his garage, and these 3 girls unfortunately became a part of it. This room, which was previously believed to be a myth in the dark web, has now been proven to be true. The attorney says that in such rooms, victims are tortured and killed, and the entire thing is live streamed on the internet. To make matters more disgusting, several private people pay a good amount to watch it unfold. The attorney mentions that she watched the proof videos once, and never looked at them again. She saw intestines protruding outside, blood everywhere, limbs dismembered, eyeballs slit with a knife, and several other indescribable things. An FBI agent only found the videos of Kim and Justine on the dark web, and she thinks it may be a blessing that she never found the video of little Camille, because it would have given her even more nightmares. Other experts will later explain the difference between the deep web and the dark web, how red rooms work, and the concept of supply and demand. They'll also identify the eyes, pose, and physical features in the videos belong to Chevalier. Following this, she begins asserting that the perpetrator is none other than Chevalier, and the attorney vows to bring justice to the deceased's families, before taking her seat. Now, it's time for Chevalier's attorney to speak. He starts off by saying that what happened to the girls was extremely abominable and heinous. However, he asks the members of the jury to keep an open mind. According to him, it is easy to point blame on a man who is already in hot water. But without factual evidence, none of them are certain if he is really the culprit. The defending attorney then goes on to say that his client is an ideal citizen. He has never broken the law, whether it be as small as getting a parking ticket. He is simply being used as a scapegoat because his appearance matches with that of the killer. Here it is revealed that the killer was wearing a mask in all of his videos, but his eyes are clearly visible. Since Chevalier has similar eyes and body structure, many believe that he is the killer. Moreover, the gruesome videos were found on his personal computer. But the attorney believes that someone might very well have hacked into his system, and uploaded it there. He also mentions that Chevalier has lived a very simple life, as his recent statements show no big transactions. If he really was the killer, he would have been loaded with cash, as a lot of disgusting people pay to watch such red rooms. The attorney ends his speech by claiming that no one can say for sure that Chevalier is the killer, no one has concrete evidence against him. After the hearing ends for the day, all the people leave the courtroom. Outside, we see some reporters interviewing a girl. Unlike most of the people, she believes that Chevalier is innocent, and that the prosecutors are trying to frame him. She claims that the real killer is out there somewhere, roaming freely. On the other hand, we see Kellyanne, who arrives at her lavish apartment in a high-rise building. She lives alone, and spends most of her time on her impressively set-up computers. Kellyanne is a local model, but she is also a trader, a professional poker player, and an avid tech enthusiast. She even has an AI assistant to look after her schedule. After having dinner and taking a shower, she is going to sleep at the same spot from the start of the movie. This is because she wants to reach the nearby courthouse as early as possible, and it is evident that she is fascinated by the ongoing murder case. Later, she is startled awake by the same woman from earlier who was talking to the reporters. Her name is Clementine, and she politely asks Kellyanne if she would like some coffee. The latter says that she doesn't drink coffee, but the conversation marks the start of their friendship. Afterwards, they arrive outside the courthouse, and Clementine cannot stop talking about Chevalier. She appears to be fascinated by him. When the prosecution resumes, one of the victim's mom is asked to give her statement. The poor woman displays a picture of Camille, saying this was taken on the day she disappeared. She also shares the details of what she was wearing. It's her school uniform. Following this, the prosecution attorney shows a picture of the same clothes that were found buried in Chevalier's residence. The mother adds that she wore braces, and the attorney reveals that they also found a set of teeth with braces. Everyone is shaken upon seeing the picture, while Chevalier is seated inside his glass box, with no expressions or words. During the lunch break, Clementine keeps blabbering about how they are trying to frame Chevalier. She claims that the buried school uniform could have belonged to anyone. When Kellyanne says that the uniform was stained with her blood, Clementine counters that the girl might have been on her period. She also claims that the braces might have been someone else's. At this point, she is madly obsessed with Chevalier, and doesn't see any red flags in him. As the two girls sit down for lunch, Kellyanne plays a quick game of poker, and wins some cash. She even gives Clementine $20 to pay for their lunch. That night, we see Kellyanne in front of her computer, digging some information about the case. She turns out to be an exceptional hacker, who uses various websites from the dark web to get what she wants. At first, she researches Camille's mother, and finds out about her workplace. She also finds her home address by zooming in on a police video, which was shot outside her house. Using Google Maps, she gets to know that their residence has a password lock on their main entrance. But this isn't a big deal for Kellyanne at all. Within seconds, she hacks into Camille's mother's email, and finds the lock's password. Although the feat is very impressive, we are not sure of the reason behind this. After completing her hacking session, Kellyanne resorts to doing some exercises so that she can keep herself fit. She later goes to her modeling studio, and poses for some pictures. In the next scene, as she is wandering through the streets, she comes across Clementine. The latter appears to be short on cash, as she reveals that she has been sleeping on the streets every night. Feeling bad for her, Kellyanne brings her to her apartment. That night, the two order some pizzas, and share about their lives. Clementine reveals that she is from a small town just outside Quebec. She came all the way here just so she can support Chevalier. After a while, the television plays a comedy show where the hosts are discussing the same murder case that has shaken Montreal. They make fun of Chevalier, and label him with various demeaning names. They then set up a hotline number, so that anyone can call them and give them their opinions. Clementine, who is tired of people accusing Chevalier without proof, takes this as the perfect opportunity to vent out her frustration. She dials the given number and connects to the comedy show. Then, in front of the live audience and the entire country, she goes on a rant about how their judicial system is corrupt. She vehemently claims that Chevalier is innocent, and people shouldn't be calling him a murderer without factual evidence. She even goes as far as calling the hosts as shameless, with brainwashed guests. As the entire crowd jeers at her on television, the hosts are left in shock. They first disconnect her call, then ask her to visit a psychiatrist, as they assume that she is some kind of lunatic. Meanwhile, Clementine breaks down in tears, unable to cope with the overwhelming situation. The following morning, she is still in a bad mood. Seeing her distress, Kellyanne decides to cheer her up by teaching her how to play squash. Both the girls have a lot of fun, and their bond starts to deepen. Over the course of the next few days, the two are inseparable. They eat, sleep, and do virtually everything else together. Kellyanne also manages time for her modeling and hacking sessions. In the next scene at the courthouse, it is announced that the two gruesome murder videos of Kim and Justine will be shown today. They are 28 minutes and 31 minutes long. This will shed a lot of light on who the murderer really is. However, due to the extremely sensitive nature of the evidence, the prosecution attorney says that only the victim's relatives will be allowed to watch it. This means that everyone else will have to leave the room. Clementine is gutted by the situation, as she was really looking forward to watching those videos. She continues to peek through the door. She can clearly hear the distressing screams of the girls, while the devastated Camille's mother gets out of the room right away. Clementine wants to hear the killer's voice, but Kellyanne surprisingly says that he doesn't speak at all. This means that she has already watched the clips. Clementine asks where Kellyanne got those videos, but the latter only gives a vague answer, suggesting that she got them from the dark web. Meanwhile, we see someone fainting inside the courtroom, indicating that the videos are very brutal. Despite this, Clementine wants to see them, and when she keeps on insisting, Kellyanne reluctantly agrees. At her house, Kellyanne inserts a pen drive on her computer, and plays the videos. As soon as they start, Clementine's expression changes. She is horrified and shaken by the brutality of the murders. She becomes so disturbed that she is unable to proceed for long, and Kelly stops the video just as it shows the killer's eyes. Clementine can't proceed with the second video, but Kelly insists on playing it anyway, as that's what Clementine wanted to see. Later, when the two reach their sleeping spot near the road, Clementine shares her decision that she wants to go home. She appears to have changed her mind after witnessing the barbaric killings. In the next court session, the expert explains that this dark web is only accessible through the Tor network. He adds that Tor doesn't exist to facilitate illegal activities, but to protect the privacy of its users. For a long time, they didn't believe that the Red Room was possible on the Tor network, because the navigation speeds on Tor were much slower. But in the last few years, the speeds have increased to the point that live streaming has become possible. Money transfers can be done with cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, to maintain anonymity. Later that night, while looking at Bitcoin transactions, Kellyanne contacts an anonymous seller on the dark web, who is apparently selling something very important. He claims that the price is very high, and a lot of people will be vying for it. In response, Kellyanne assures him that she is serious about it. The anonymous person then asks her if she is ready, and tells her to notify him when she is. As the days pass, Kellyanne continues with her jury duties, as well as her personal life. But one day, while she is exercising at home, her agent calls her, informing her of the surprising news that she has been cancelled. The modeling company has even removed Kellyanne from their website, because they have learned about her gambling addiction. Devastated, she colors her hair blonde, and decides to do something very controversial. The following day at the courtroom, while staring at Chevalier, Kellyanne puts on contact lenses to make her eyes blue. She removes her formal wear, only to reveal a school uniform inside. This is the same uniform Camille was wearing when she was kidnapped. She then puts a fake brace on her teeth to imitate Camille's appearance. Seeing her, the entire courtroom is disturbed. Camille's parents are affected the most, and in no time, security arrives, and escorts Kellyanne out. While she is being dragged away, she waves her hand at Chevalier, and surprisingly, he waves back at her, the first time he has interacted with anyone. Because of the incident, Kellyanne receives a lot of backlash. She is called crazy by the media, and all of her friends and agents cut ties with her. Alone and depressed, she contacts the same anonymous seller from earlier, and says that she is ready, and runs some identification checks. Following this, the guy tells her that he will be giving her the access code tomorrow at 7 p.m. However, for that, she will have to visit the local payphone, as it is safe. Kellyanne goes to the said payphone the next day, and receives the code. When she reaches her apartment, she wastes no time and sells all her cryptocurrency, and enters the access code on an illegal website. A countdown begins, and it turns out the third murder video, which the authorities haven't been able to find yet, is being auctioned on the dark web. It shows the brutal death of Camille. As the countdown continues, Kellyanne starts playing poker on the dark web, using Bitcoin as a bet. She wants to earn some extra Bitcoin, which will increase her chances of winning the auction. After a while, the auction begins, and several wealthy people start bidding their prices. They start low, but more than 10 Bitcoins mark in no time. This puts Kellyanne under a lot of stress, as she doesn't have that kind of amount. If she doesn't win the poker game, she will lose the auction. The game appears to be tense, as a lot of seasoned veterans are playing. But with the help of her extensive poker knowledge, and a little bit of luck, Kellyanne takes the risk by betting all she has, and manages to win. Now, she has 21.59 Bitcoin. She quickly submits a massive bid, starting with 18.5 BTC, until it reaches 21.5. She is too nervous, because that's all she has, and to her luck, nobody can outbid her. After the auction ends, she excitedly downloads the video on her computer, and will watch it right away. She appears to be very satisfied with her accomplishment, despite the disturbing reflection of the red color on the screen. After this, she sneaks outside her apartment through the parking lot, while also ensuring that she is not detected by the cameras. She then goes to Camille's home, and breaks in using the security code. As everyone is asleep, no one catches wind of her. Kellyanne silently leaves a pen drive on the table, which contains the video of Camille's murder. The next morning, a reporter outside the courthouse reveals that the case has finally been closed. In an unexpected turn of events, Chevalier has confessed to his crimes. This happened after the police obtained footage of Camille's murder, where Chevalier was seen more clearly. His Bitcoin transactions were also linked to his account. The reporter concludes her statement by saying that Chevalier will be put behind bars for the rest of his life. In the final scene, we see Clementine being interviewed by a talk show host. She mentions that she saw sadness in Chevalier's eyes, which made her think that he is innocent. But now, she is trying her best to get him out of her mind. Okay guys, that's all the recap of Red Rooms 2023, thanks for watching. See you again in the next video.